Got him. Now, Tank. Now.
Welcome to your doom.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
OnlyFans numbers fact. I heard a stat that kind of blew me away.
Okay.
So it's in America there is I think 10 million girls between 18 and 24.
Hell yeah. They all have one thing in common.
Yeah.
They don't want anything to do with us.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty 100% guaranteed. But according to OnlyFans stats, there is 1.2 million girls between 18 and 24, which means
really
1 in 10 girls between 18 and 24 are on OnlyFans. Like, ladies, the boat has sailed. Like, stop.
All I'm saying is that, ladies, I want you to think about this. If you know for a fact that you're with 9 of your girlfriends and you know that none of them are on OnlyFans, that means that you're on OnlyFans.
Yeah, you have to be.
Check your boyfriend's house for cameras.
Yeah, a few of you might be on. You have no idea. Yeah, but that's like, and also like the reason there's a couple of people that pull down like 2 million a month. That's like top wide receiver numbers, but they literally have to fuck 1,000 guys a day. To get that kind of traction and stats.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I feel like a lot of OnlyFans just end up failing, and then just all your friends just saw your titties.
Exactly. That's what's going to... You're in that failed, burnt-out business.
Yeah, I guess I'm not going to run for comptroller anymore.
Realistically, it's the new pyramid scheme. Actually, it's a triangle scheme. Welcome to the Essential Podcast. This is episode 146. A bit of a hiatus. We're back.
Yeah, that was your... I'm Adam Riley.
I'm Jake Bussey.
Yeah.
And then we have an OnlyFans page. I'm jumping on this train.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a fun fact. I thought mine was kind of interesting, too. I was going to tell you, I came across a study that shows that, and I think this is very interesting that they even were testing this.
Okay.
But it turns out rats that are sober prefer silence, but rats that scientists give cocaine to prefer jazz. like they like Miles Davis, dude. Literally, they're playing Miles Davis and like.
Well, yeah, dude, they're cooler. Fucking nerd ass rats reading a book.
I think that's pretty funny. So there you go.
Yeah.
So Google that fun fact.
I mean, that's a real fact. Like
sober rats prefer silence. But rats on cocaine like Miles Davis.
That kind of reminds me of like, do you remember that experiment they did with the spider where they gave it different drugs and stuff like that, and it would form different webs.
Yeah.
To my horror, whenever I watched that, do you know what the worst web was out of the 20-something drugs? It was by far caffeine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. Caffeine made the spider make something that didn't even resemble anything that had a center. And I think about that a lot when you're drinking coffee and making a web, scatterbrained, falling apart at the end of the day. Like my web looks like shit too.
Yeah, so, I'm always throwing web as well. So,
actually, another weird random fact I saw. This is a joke I saw. I forgot who the comedian was. But this is a great joke. Spiders' genitalia is actually on their front 2 legs, which. Really changes how you look at Spider-Man.
Or Daddy Long Legs.
Yeah, that's sexual assault.
That's Daddy Schlong Legs.
He's tying those criminals up with.
Oh, yeah. Go Web, go.
So, and we're off and running. This is brought to you by the Comedy Cabin. Might as well get that out of the way. Comedy Cabin, go to cabinlaughs.com to see great local acts that Nathan's bringing into town. I know he just booked Ben Bailey. We got Champ. I always forget his real name.
Man, I don't. Just go to cabinlaughs.com.
Yeah.
There's national acts touring all the time. If you're a fan of like Kill Tony, I know which is like one of the number one. I think it's the number one live podcast on YouTube.
It's on Netflix now too.
Netflix.
They have a 3.
But I'll tell you this right now. I will watch Kill Tony and be like, oh, I've seen him.
Yep,
I've seen him.
Yeah, Casey Rockett's been in town.
Yeah, just like all these live people like coming to Janesville, Wisconsin. So it's great. I really want to keep this going. So
I mean, not even that, but I was Andrew Desmukes, one of the lead guys on SNL. We saw there like a month ago, and then a week later, I saw him in every skit with Shane Gillis. So realistically, he's bringing people to town that in a couple of years they'll be like, that guy was in Janesville. Exactly. Yeah, he was down in the Comedy Cabin. So can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah. All right, so I have something that I thought was kind of interesting here. So I was doing a bit of a deep dive that ended up turning into a nosedive.
Okay.
You know that distinct smell after rain?
Yes.
That very fresh, earthy smell is a compound called geosmin. It sounds like jasmine, but with some stank on it. But it's geosmin.
Okay.
Geosmin is made by microbes in the soil. So basically, it's dirt bacteria throwing a very smelly reproduction party, right?
And it's only after rain, essentially.
Yeah, it's like wet soil,
Sure.
right? But here's where it really gets interesting to me. And by the way, it's like, and I wanted to say like it's a reproduction thing, but it's kind of more like since they're asexual, it's just like more of a jack off fest.
Sure.
You smell,
Yeah.
right? but anyway, what's interesting to me is how insanely good we are at smelling it. Humans can detect geosmin as just 5 parts per trillion. Now, if that is hard for you to kind of decipher, think of it like 1 drop of geosmin in an Olympic-sized pool. That's how well we can smell it versus other things, right? Geosmin is in things like beets, which explains why a lot of people think that beets smell like or taste like dirt, right?
Okay.
But anyway, so but it's because it's literally made of the same compound.
Interesting.
Oh, hey, I thought that was pretty cool. And so we're essentially, so then I started like, again, going with my nosedive. That was a little pun there. Yeah. But I was like, well, why? Why did we develop this versus anything else?
Because we were genetically bred to be farmers by aliens.
Right, there you go. Mine the gold, right?
Sure.
So, but no, so I guess they assume that it's hard, that we're hardwired to smell this out so we can find like drinkable water and like fertile soil. So it's funny that you said the farmer thing. But this is where it's going to come a little, I'm trying to make a full circle here. A few other animals have evolved to pick this scent up as well. Okay. Obviously we're the best.
Sure.
But there's another one. A camel, for example, is highly sensitive to the smell of geosmin.
For water?
For water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, are you ready for a pop quiz?
Sure.
This is the second time that I've talked about camels on the podcast. Do you remember the first?
No.
I'll give you a hint. Camels and cats do it. Camels are retromingent. Do you remember?
Oh, they got backwards vagina?
They piss backwards.
Yeah, okay. They got a potato gun or something like that.
So there you go. So longtime listeners will remember
Useful
that
in Mario Kart.
Camels, cats, hippo, they're retromingent, which means that they pee backwards. So there you go. So that's my geosmin retromingent callback.
All right, let's follow Adam's logic here. We can detect 1 part per trillion particles.
Yeah.
So can camels, and they have backwards vaginas. Actually, can I jump off something that you brought up? So you said it was jack-off party with asexual soil.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's a Tuesday to me.
Something
and a Wednesday and Thursday.
Interesting.
And Friday.
I seen something that scientists said that they have documented the first case of virgin birth. Do you know what virgin birth is besides Jesus?
I'm assuming non-sex pregnancy.
It's asexual reproduction. And actually, there's like a statistical probability.
Oh, like Cartman's mom?
Exactly. There's a statistical probability where it technically can happen in humans, but it would be like a very, very like against the odds.
Just a pile of eyeballs or something coming out.
But it says, like, scientists say they have documented the first virgin birth in a crocodile, and while the concept may sound bizarre to humans, this type of reproduction is not unheard of across the animal kingdom. According to researchers, the crocodile in question, named Coquita, has been living alone in Costa Rica zoo called Parariptalia, probably said it wrong, for 16 years, and laying a very special clutch of eggs. In 2018, one of those eggs was found to have contained a fully formed crocodile fetus, despite the fact that she's lived virtually alone.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those, like, it's weird you brought that up because I had the random fact.
Well, that's, isn't that Jurassic Park?
Essentially.
Life. Let me pop my shirt off real quick. And I'll.
Speaking of Jurassic Park, the big news that came out that people are talking about is the dire wolves.
Okay. I did see that.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything on it, but yeah.
So, well, basically, this dude who has a company that's bringing back, they want to bring back the woolly mammoth. And actually, there's a lot of implications.
We've talked about that a number of times, the woolly mammoth, as far as they want to bring it back, I believe, to help global warming.
Yeah, so in Siberia,
right?
essentially they knock trees down, which would basically increase wind flowage, which would, they estimated 2 to 3 degrees cooler in the tundra because of, like, large fauna. So that's their goal, is to bring back the woolly mammoth. But this guy went on Rogan, and they did bring back a dire wolf. Now, there's people that basically think they brought back a doodle, because there was like a 7,000-year-old tooth and like a 23,000-year-old skull, and it wasn't like DNA directly extracted from those.
Yeah, they filled it with frog DNA.
Yeah. And that was the thing. He was on Rogan trying his best to not sound like Jurassic Park, but all he did was sound like Jurassic Park. I swear he was like complete the code.
There was a mosquito and some ember.
Yeah.
Or amber.
But the whole thing about the dire wolf, and what bothers me, it's like you sense this like snakeness about him, because I think it's cool that they can do this, but like the first person, George R.R. Martin, is one of their investors in the company.
Oh, there you go.
The guy that wrote Game of Thrones that had dire wolves in it. So I'm like, is this just pleasing an investor? Because here's the thing, it's like we don't need another wolf. We don't need a bigger wolf. We need more chicken. Bring the dodo back. Like give the chicken a break. So they're talking about bringing Tasmanian tigers back and all this other stuff back, but it's beginning, and they're talking about bringing altering people and genetic mutations, and
I believe the Tasmanian tiger was marsupial as well, too, right?
Right, it's the only marsupial, and they were talking about bringing that back because Tasmanian devils are somewhat not growing out of control. But I thought it was interesting. The Tasmanian tiger used to basically regulate the Tasmanian devil. I didn't know this about the Tasmanian devil. Did you know the Tasmanian devil
can spin in a tornado?
He can do that too. And actually, if you look it up if you stop and Google, like Adam always says, their eating sounds are absolutely horrific. That's where the name comes from.
Is it like you eating?
It sounds like pigs getting stuck. Like it's horrific.
Listening to Jake eat food is I've had to leave the room.
Dude, I can't hear it. It's like when you run fast, you just hear wind. It doesn't bother me.
Just the sound of his mastication, like it's like, dude, you sound like you're eating the sweaty asshole of a 400-pound man.
That's fine. Get away from my sweaty asshole. It's a defense mechanism. But what I didn't know, and actually, like, I'd recommend watch this episode about the dire wolf with Rogan, because they talk about a ton of interesting things. But the Tasmanian devil has something I didn't know existed: contagious cancer.
Oh.
It's in their claws, and they basically, when they're feeding, they will kind of bite and scratch at each other, and something in their claws will scratch and cause tumors in the scratches. And I think we should just get rid of that animal altogether.
That's like HPV.
That's like
throat cancer.
Yeah, contagious cancer and cordyceps fungus. This is stuff that we should just get rid of.
Yeah.
Like just
I think they're trying to with the Tasmanian tiger.
Sure. So, but yeah, anyways, the dire wolf, I thought it was pretty fascinating. And they're, I think, 14 months old at this point, and they're on a 2,000. This was the thing that bothered me.
How much do you think those pups are going to cost?
This guy was totally naive, because he's like, they're on a nature preserve. Nobody knows where it is. It's like, dude, Shia LaBeouf couldn't hide a flag in the sky without the internet finding out where it was. Yeah. They're going to find out. Some Russian fucking oligarch's going to get a hold of one of these. Yes. As his personal collection.
This is my dire wolf.
Exactly.
Okay, so I want to talk about this. I, on a whim, put on a movie.
Okay.
And it was so interesting and weird, and just not anything I was expecting. But the only reason why I watched it is because it had the guy from
Jesse Eisenberg.
Okay,
is that who you're talking about?
Yep, yep. So we're talking about Vivarium.
And actually, we had Pat watch it while I was
tattooing. You watched it today?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, and then, and what did you think? Did you like it? Interesting. It's interesting, and that's the best way I could say it. I think that I don't expect you to be like, oh my god, if this doesn't win an award.
Solid B- movie.
Yeah,
but it was not good, not bad,
but I'd say it was definitely worth watching.
Good swing.
However, it's been out for years, so I think we're allowed to talk about it.
Dude, we can spoil it. No one's gonna be. And actually, this is my big. Can I go into it? Can I?
Yeah, let's hear it.
My biggest critique, or my biggest rant about it, was they kind of gave away the ending with the beginning.
Yeah,
because they had in the first frame is a cuckoo bird. Basically, a giant bird eating the parents out of the house and home. The cuckoo is naturally a parasitic bird, which will kill the parent birds by killing its chicks and then making it feed it to death while the other birds starve. And then the rest of the movie proceeded to give me a human form of that, where a parasitic individual trapped basically in some kind of mind-dimensional prison, Jesse Eisenberg and his wife, while growing a young pupa of himself. Well, and so I was like, I wasn't allowed to discover this revelation on my own.
So I'll be honest with you. So what I don't remember the bird part.
It was like it was literally in the slow motion intro of the movie starting.
Okay, so with that being said, I watched it like on the treadmill, so I must have been like panting or something like that when that happened, looking down. But I don't recall that, so I did get to discover it on my own, and I did message Jake. I was like, hey man, you got to watch this movie. I want to talk to you about it afterwards, And the reason and what I thought of is exactly parasitic, but it made me think of there's different parasites that need other beings to complete its life cycle. Yeah, and that made me think of it, and I actually looked it up. But it's the Lancet liver fluke, right? And this parasite. What it does is it starts off in the liver and like ducts. Of like cows, sheep, and rabbits, right, where it lays its eggs. And those eggs are then pooped out and then eaten by snails. Now, inside the snails, the eggs will hatch, and then that's where the larva is, and then comes out of the snail slime. Sure. Then the slime of the snail comes in contact with ants. The ants eat it. They get infected by the larva.
This sounds like Rick and Morty at this point.
Right? I know, this is wild, but this is real. Yeah. So then the ants get infected by the larva. And which is funny because you were just talking about cordyceps a moment ago. Yeah. But they'll get infected by the larva. For some reason, the larva is able to make that ant climb to the top of tips of grass and then just hang off of the tips of the grass. So then it is eaten by cows, sheep, and rabbits. Right. To complete its life cycle. So it absolutely needs, this particular being has to have a cow, a snail, and an ant in order to even complete its life cycle. And so that's why I thought that this movie was really interesting. It was just a very, very different take on what you'd normally expect out of a movie nowadays.
So it was definitely that, but it was also somewhat of a critique of like married life. Definitely, because they were sequestered.
As an unmarried man.
Yeah. Like, listen, they were sequestered to a suburbs.
I think Jake is just... Jake's venting now.
No, it's not venting. Like,
it's a goddamn
dude, Pat in the audience sees it too. Because like, let's follow the trajectory. It's like they get stuck in the suburbs. They can't get out, right? And then eventually the man just finds some work to do and works himself to death.
Are you okay?
While the woman tries to like raise this kid that eventually she's like, I wish you would have let me kill him. And then at the end they die and the kid pushed them out of the house. And I'm like, we get it. It's a suburb.
Yeah. I love that. Out of everyone here, I'm the only not married male. No. And you guys are all nodding your heads.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, get it. I totally get it. But I want to watch Vivarium about the opposite.
That's funny.
No, so here's the thing.
Anyway, it was a good movie. I thought it was interesting.
Solid B. And my only real frustration was there wasn't like a reckoning or a conclusion, except it almost felt like you said, it almost felt like a documentary by the end of this thing's life cycle.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'd suggest watching it. I'm so bored with movies nowadays that come out. I'm like, oh my god, if I can guess the plot, and what the dialogue is about to be.
Sure.
Like I just can't stand it. So I'm like,
well, if you want to get married, that's the plot. And it's fine. Eventually you dig a hole deep enough, you're like, this is nice. It's my space. I could just hang out down here. Oh, there's already a dead body in here with me. All right.
That's funny.
Anyways, talking about movies, just real quick, there's a quick weird phenomenon going on in America, actually. Did you know there's Minecraft movie out with Jack Black?
Okay.
And
can I tell you this right now? I have not seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
I think that as a man in his mid-40s with no children, like going to a kid's movie by himself, like I would have a cop's kney in my back. And I should.
That is the thing. Like once you have a kid, you can watch Pixar movies again. You can't just be in the back of Up.
Yeah, I can't go in the playground area of Burger King.
Yeah.
Alone.
You should be able to, but you can't.
Yeah, I can't go in the ball pit.
It's more of a ball pit now, kids.
Just I rise from it like Undertaker.
Like it. I call you more of an it. Yeah. So what's going on in America right now? So Minecraft, I haven't seen it, but my son went with his friends and saw it. And I've been hearing this thing. Have you heard of anything called the chicken jockey? A little bit of a nod, kind of a nod. Okay, so in Minecraft, I looked it up. There's a character, looks like a little Frankenstein, riding a chicken. And in the movie, they personified it, and Jack Black yells chicken jockey. And this is like the cue, and it's becoming a thing because, they reported it's a thing where everybody fucking screams in the theater and throws their popcorn. And
Didn't they do this in something else?
Probably, but it's like
I feel
toilet
a few
paper.
Years ago they did that.
It's becoming like a TikTok thing. And the thing is, I'm of two minds about it because there's definitely, as a former usher of a movie theater, that sucks because it is a instant popcorn drink mess, and it's becoming like I've seen one guy in there with a chicken. Honestly, he gets a pass because he thought ahead. He was riding on a buddy's shoulders with a chicken under his arm. Like, kids are having fun at the movies again. Pat pointed out they should be thankful they're going back to the movies again. I definitely agree with that because COVID almost killed a lot of those theaters.
I think it killed a lot.
But there is some instances where like cops are being called, and I just think like you are in a kids movie, let kids have fun.
Yeah, don't wreck it for other kids.
People got to cheer in the Avengers, and it was fine.
I'm trying to remember, but
when Captain America picked up Thor's hammer or whatever the fuck it was.
Wasn't there? Okay, it was a couple years ago, and it was a thing where kids were going to movies, but they were dressed in suits.
I don't remember that.
Man, where's Tony when we need him?
Tony would remember this.
Yeah, but no, I remember that there was like some sort of like yeah. Anyway.
So to me, the headline here is harmless kids causing mess but having fun. And the more I think about it, the more I agree with Pat. To where it's like these theaters need to stop being beggars and choosers. Thankfully, these places are sold out, but because of the news coverage, it's instantly made it like a massive problem across the country.
Okay, so I just looked it up.
Yeah.
And then it was the Minions movie, Rise of Gru, when there was a viral phenomenon where kids were going to the theaters dressed in suits.
That's fine, dude.
And it was but it was creating a bit of an uproar as well. That was 2022. I think we covered it.
Yeah, people go to cosplay and all that. Like this is a good news story.
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's being caused as like people are ruining the movie. It's a Minecraft movie.
Yeah,
are they wrecking the fucking end of Schindler's List?
Yeah, try being in a movie theater where there's a baby crying or somebody talking on their speakerphone. So,
don't go in there.
Sometimes that's the same person. The mother. Yeah. Okay, so do you want to do a catfish?
Yeah, let's go.
I've got a couple catfish. So I have a couple catfi. All right, so quick rules for catfish here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read Jake 3 news headlines.
Okay.
One of them is real, 2 of them are fake. And so feel free to play along. And audience members, I want to hear answers from you as well. All right, so number 1, panda poop is being turned into tissues in China.
Okay.
Number 2 becomes number 1, resources in bold new recycling plan.
Okay.
Number 3, they laughed when he collected poop until he bought his house with it.
Okay, so the theme is like shit to gold. Poop to gold.
Yeah, sure.
All right, yeah.
It's just poop.
Okay, read the third one again for me real quick.
Number 3, they laughed when he collected poop until he bought his house with it.
So I'm going to guess number 3 because I know that there's somehow some kind of like turnover where you could use it for burning fertilizer or something like that.
Okay.
I'm interested in the first one, like China somehow manufacturing toilet paper out of it, which would be pretty ironic, but I'm going 3.
Okay.
What do you got? Not enough pandas. Good point. That's juice ain't worth the squeeze in China. Pat in the back. Not enough pandas.
Right.
We got 2.
Matthias, 2.
1. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm at 3.
All right. I'll read them again.
Yeah.
Number 1, panda poop is being turned into tissues in China. Number 2 becomes number 1 resource in bold new recycling plan. Number 3, they laughed when he collected poop until he bought his house with it.
Yeah. Go number 3.
All right. So,
shitty house.
All right. Listeners, you got your answers. The answer is pandas are undeniably adorable, but would you wipe your mouth with tissues made from their feces? A paper manufacturer in China is betting on it and thinks you'll pay extra for the privilege.
Get the fuck out of here. Panda Express?
That's what you need after Panda Express.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess maybe the bamboo? Is that what it is?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
all right.
So the company is collecting panda waste from a nearby conservation center and turning it into tissue and toilet paper. Its panda poop tissue sells for 10 to 20 times the price of standard variety. The higher price is necessary to offset the cost of many sterilization procedures, of which there are about 60, including cleaning and steaming.
Dude, Timu is just rubbing our face in it at this point. What the fuck?
Yeah. They expect the tissues will gain a following among consumers with an environmental protection mindset. Turning the feces into paper helps reduce environmental pollution because the China Conservation and Research Center for the Giant Panda would otherwise throw the feces away or use it as fertilizer. So there you go.
Skadoosh.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't know how much this stuff costs, but do you remember a few years ago we got the pumpkin spice toilet paper and gave it away to a Patreon member?
Oh, yeah.
What if it's COVID again?
Yeah. Oh, man.
This sounds like a new way to get a disease. China's done it again.
Well, can we just say this? Like, the fact that China has that there's 60 different sterilization procedures, which tells me there should be 120.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, let's be honest here. Yeah. So I don't think OSHA is is running rampant over there.
So I have something that. So what's the big holiday coming up?
Easter.
Tax day.
Oh.
April 15th on its way. And
the other egg.
I found something that I thought was worth bringing up. Did you know that on your tax forms you're supposed to declare your illegal income? So this is according to IRS Publication 17. Income from illegal activities such as money from drug dealing falls under Schedule C or self-employed activity. Also, don't forget your stolen property. You must report its fair market value unless you return it to its rightful owner. This is a real thing.
Can I tell you this? I as absurd as it is, do you want to know my theory? Is that
I have somewhat of a reason as to why, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
can I
go
call
for
the shot here?
Yeah.
And honestly, we have a police officer in the audience right now, so feel free to correct me on this. But I bet that they wrote it in there so that they can at least reference it later when they charge someone for it.
Bingo.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, this is a law. Yeah. And so it's like on top of like obviously selling drugs, then you get also hit for the fact that you didn't pay taxes on those drugs. Right?
Exactly. That's how they got Capone. Tax evasion.
I thought was it
Capone
tax evasion?
was convicted because of his income didn't match his basically his business dealings. It says it's rare, but people who are expected to be convicted of embezzlement will often claim theft. So they avoid the actual tax implications of having that money and not paid for it when their sentence is over. But I just think it's funny. It's like, don't forget, report what you stole.
The homeless guy stabbing people with screwdrivers. Oh man, I did get 3 purses last week.
Oh yeah, oddly fiduciary.
Yeah, I think it's under the pickle law though. Where it's under $650.
Like honestly, I love the idea of homeless people paying into their Social Security.
They say it's going to run out, but I don't believe it.
Dude, you ain't making over 65.
Oh, so maybe in dog years.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so I've actually, fun fact is a personal one for me is I've been to 2 of Capone's cells.
I've been to
you've
one.
Been to one.
Yeah.
You and I were at the one in
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz, and then I've been to ESP, which is I'm sure Patrick's been to ESP, Eastern State Penitentiary in Philly. So there you go. I'm like the Venn diagram of you guys. You've been to Alcatraz. You've been to ESP, gents. I've been to both. Gaze upon your master.
So we actually touched on something that I had. Just a quick note. Do you know what longevity escape velocity means? It's a term that's becoming kind of being thrown around recently.
The second word was escape?
Longevity escape velocity. It's a scientific term. I'll explain it. And I just wonder if you haven't heard it, it's no big deal.
I haven't.
Okay, so that's starting to be talking about the idea that there will be a point when science can extend your life a year for every year that goes by. So essentially, there'll be a turnover where science will be able to extend the expected livelihood, if you have money, of maybe 2 years for every 1 year. So they estimate we're about 10 to 15 years away from that moment happening where if you can just stay alive and not die stupidly, you could potentially be able to live forever. There's programs. There's genetic programs where they're looking into where they might be able to reset your cellular age to tell your cells, hey, on the next cycle, go back to 26. So this used to be science fiction, but now it's a real world probability.
I
This
know
isn't just vitamins and shit like that.
Okay, so I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact. Remember that guy we talked about him a couple years ago who was getting the blood transfusions from his son?
So he's kind of going about it in the way that this isn't talking about. This is more like what they're talking about with the dire wolf. We're talking about CRISPR, genetic engineering going on in China. We're talking about like more, like vaccine delivery systems of mDNA or. This is like the future for the super
MDMA?
No, what MDNR?
That sounds like pure ecstasy, buddy.
Listen, either way,
what's your mom's name?
Molly. Yeah. Either way, you ain't gonna be here for it. But so we're about 10 years away from, and this. All I can think is like, this is why Jeff Bezos is working with a trainer right now. Do you remember we covered the clock? He spent like $20 million on it. Chimes once every 1,000 years. I'm telling you right now, that motherfucker thinks he's gonna hear it chime. It's like that's his intention. Like, and
it's just gonna be like a Futurama floating head with tentacles.
Yeah,
like robot tentacles.
Yeah. Realistically, like the thing is, it's like everybody looks at him and Elon, they are insanely rich beyond normal amounts of wealth. But in their mind, they are just wealthy enough to pay for this kind of stuff. So that's what happens when you become
the rest
rich.
of us hundredaires.
You got hundreds? I'm over here with change.
I'm going in yen, man.
Yeah. But I just wanted to throw it out there that like I've seen it in a couple places. Longevity escape velocity is this scientific term they're starting to throw around as if it'll become a medical science. It's kind of like the pharmaceuticals' next mountain to climb. If they can really start making headway, and it's not the one dude getting blood from his son and taking a zillion vitamins every day. So
yeah, it's definitely
it's interesting, but it's at the same time it's like it pisses me off. Like,
I mean, I think in 15
die with the rest of us.
Yeah, in 15 years I'll be 60 and I won't give a fuck anyway.
I think right now, like we haven't added many amendments. We should add an amendment. You don't get to be over 150. Add it now before it's an issue. You don't get to, they're going to bump into the 187th Amendment. We're going to get a guillotine in the street. We're going back.
I think Louis C.K. has a bit about that. He's like, one of the best things you can do as an old person is die.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's your turn. Just do it. You know how gross it would be if no one did it?
Oh, man. Okay, hold on. I know I feel like last year we talked about that dating website for elderly people.
Yeah, called EU.com.
Yeah, no. It was the Golden Bachelor. It was the Bachelor show for just geriatric people.
Dude,
sponsored by Depends.
You know, my favorite part about the show, The Golden Bachelor, was like the 7 in memories of before the first episode.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, man. I got another catfish.
Let's hear it.
So go right into it.
Okay.
Oh, bump the mic there. Okay, so obviously same format. All right, number 1. Miss Scotland bit 2 security guards and called one the N-word as she was kicked out of a rugby competition. Number 2.
I kind of want to go with that already.
Number 2. Winner of Mr. Universe 2022 caught smuggling 16 balloons of heroin at the French border. Okay. Number 3. Westminster Best of Show Weimerheiner has OnlyFans account currently making $4,000 a month.
The dog? A Weimaraner?
Yeah, Westminster.
Okay. I'm gonna go with number 1 because I really, really want it to be number 1.
Okay.
Audience. 2. Right, guy. What do you got?
It's a dog, right?
Dog for 3.
You got 1. All right. Read them all again.
All right. So real quick. Miss Scotland bit 2 security guards and called one the N-word as she was kicked out of a rugby competition.
By the way, I don't
Nerd.
Nerd. Okay, that's not that bad.
They
read a lot.
Yeah. Winner of Mr. Universe 2022 caught smuggling 16 balloons of heroin at French border. Number 3, Westminster Best of Show Weimerheiner has OnlyFans account currently making $4,000 a month.
If you would maybe pronounced it correctly, I would believe it a little bit better.
I'm drinking. I thought I hit Weimerheiner pretty decently.
And 3 times now he does.
What's it called then?
Damn.
It's the short-haired red dog.
I think they're gray.
No, Weimerheiners are red.
Are they?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, are you sure you're not thinking of a Dachshund?
Miss Scotland's also red.
Do you know why? Do you know why the cowboy got a Dachshund?
Do you know why the cowboy got a Dachshund? Everybody.
Because you want to get a long little doggy.
All right. So, anyways, the answer: a former Miss Scotland
Hell yeah.
bit a security guard and called him the N-word. Lucy Thompson sank her teeth into the hand of Andrew, hard last name, and made a racial slur while being thrown out of the Edinburgh City 7 rugby competition. This is a wife.
Dude, I love that. That's highly inappropriate,
Yeah.
but like
She's a
about as
handful.
Scottish as you get. Yeah.
Yeah. So good job.
Well, it was fucking one of yous.
Oh, the 26-year-old also, after biting the second security guard officer, shouted, "Do you know who I am?" And she said, "I've got so much money in my account," during a drunken rant.
Oh man. Huh.
So
Let's do a
I
follow
think I'm in love. And we're back for the third time. We're having technical difficulties. For everyone in the room, this is the third time of the restart. I want to personally thank Pat for bringing this Four Roses whiskey, which I'm going to personally destroy the rest of the podcast with. Now, Adam, what did you say that was funny?
I said the first time I said the Four Roses is gonna have you seen double.
Yeah.
And I said that's 8 roses. But now we're on the third time, so that's just a dozen of roses.
A dozen roses. Thank
There we
you,
go.
Pat, for the dozen roses. I really appreciate
It's
it.
very romantic.
Yeah.
Now kiss.
Oh, so much. All right, so let's see here. I wanted to say there was one new accomplishment that I'd seen in the world. Did you know that there was a record recently broken? So, Democratic senator delivered a record-breaking filibuster speech on the Senate floor. Just take a guess. How long do you think it?
I thought it was like 14 hours or 15 hours or something like
You're
that.
10 hours short. 25. So the new one is 24 hours and 18 minutes long.
That's a Baker's 24.
Yeah. And I guess, I don't know. I guess it's technically impressive. I guess it's nice to see Congress or Senate, applaud one thing. And everybody stood and applaud when he actually crossed the 24-hour and 18-minute mark, breaking a previous record from, I believe it was 1957, which... That's a long-standing record, but it's also an impressive tantrum.
Okay, but you have to prep for that, or else you just piss yourself, right?
Yeah, there's rules, right? I think you're not allowed to take a certain amount of pauses. You're not allowed to repeat yourself about a certain topic, and there's scorekeepers on this. But I kind of also hate it because it just feels like a bitch move. Because basically, what a filibuster is an effort to basically frustrate the other side into, I don't know exactly, just having a bad day.
Do you know the last guy who held the record?
No, I don't know the last guy who held it. Do you know the last? What?
The last guy who held the record was a known racist.
The last guy who held the record was a known racist. Ryan was saying.
So he went on a rant.
He's from the South.
Yeah.
I said. Is this Foghorn Leghorn?
He went on a rant about how segregation was good.
So Ryan said he went on a rant about how segregation was good. How poetic that the new guy that beat it was black.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen
that
a lot
is-
of those
that is-
records fall.
That's great.
Two black guys.
Is that guy still alive? The other one?
I don't think so.
No.
Damn it.
Yeah.
That'd have been funny.
It was Strom Thurmond. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It was Strom Thurmond, yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, it continued for more than 25 hours. It surpassed, I'm assuming, Strom Thurmond, the previous of 24 hours and 14 minutes. Which I will say that is impressive amount of time to literally do anything. That's an impressive amount of time to stay awake, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So-
Let alone to speak the entire time?
Yeah.
Ugh. No, I could not do it.
So that fact, the other fact I have here is the update on the comet that was supposed to hit us in 2026. Do you know the trajectory has been mapped and we are safe? Do you remember that?
I did.
Like a month ago?
And it wasn't like a 2% chance or something like that, but it's way higher than any other.
So it got upgraded to it was 3.8% chance.
Okay, yeah.
So yes, but
Sounds like my grade point average.
we get a hi-hat. So it was updated because we basically had more observation and we're safe from it.
Okay.
But interestingly enough, it still may hit the moon. Currently, right now, there's a 3.8% chance that it will miss us, hit the moon. And this actually, even though it sounds bad, would be massively beneficial to scientists here on Earth because they would get to watch the actual crater formation of a crater on the moon in real time. And this crater is, it's not small. It's the size of a 10-story building, essentially. So this would be a spectacle, like an astronomical event. I would be watching it.
Well,
in the
what'll
field.
be neat is you'll be able to see you'll be able to see pictures of the moon before and after.
Yeah.
And from now on, anytime you'd be like, oh, it's like when you see like a New York skyline.
Well,
And you're like, oh, that was before 2001.
Yeah. That is on the moon. You'd be like, no, it's their 9/11. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the moon's 9/11.
Yeah.
In 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
2 years.
So you told me that you wanted to talk about this, so I was like, okay, let me look into this meter a bit more.
I just want to say, interestingly, before you go into it, what's interesting is even though they thought it might hit Earth, they still thought the size of it might break up in our atmosphere.
Yeah.
No moon on the atmosphere, so it would 100% be impact, and they would.
Yeah.
And this would be the first observable impact since I think it's Hale-Bopp or the Shoemaker-Levy one hit Jupiter back in like 96. And that one created a crater or essentially explosion remnants roughly the size of the Earth.
So I don't know a lot about Jupiter, but I do know that's where girls go to get more stupider.
I heard that.
Yeah. Now I wanted to say that the meteor, I did look into it, and first of all, it's called the City Killer.
That's its actual name?
Yeah, I mean that's just like what they're referring to it as a city killer meteor. So I'm like,
yeah, it could kill a city.
Oh,
sure.
yeah, like that's
more likely an ocean splasher.
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah,
like,
just a Neptune's kiss.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Where
do you remember Neptune's kiss is? It's when you drop a shit out and then the water splashes up and touches your butt.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like that.
Yeah, it's like that, but for the world. So the City Killer meteor, it's as you said, is going to hit the moon instead, most likely, if it does hit anything.
Potentially,
right? If it doesn't just go screaming by us, right?
Yeah.
Now, and again, like it would be cool to see like that crater like happen in real time, and obviously, with your phone, you can like.
Yeah,
you can take great pics of the moon nowadays, which is amazing to me. Now, I initially thought, I was like, man, if this hits the moon like that big, could it like offset stuff? Because I know that certain little things can offset orbit or rotations or whatnot. I know that like China created that water reservoir that threw off the rotation of the Earth.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Slightly slowed it. Yeah,
but I mean, that's all it takes is to slightly whatever.
Sure.
So then I started thinking like, would this affect like tides and whatnot, right?
Okay.
If it were to throw off the moon. But apparently, and so obviously I was looking into it, and I guess the Earth's gravitational pull to the moon wouldn't really knock it off at all.
Yeah, it's
like it actually is said that it would literally need a moon-sized, thing to knock off the moon, off the gravitational pull.
Yeah, essentially the moon is like lopsided, like density-wise. Like it's pretty locked in. That's why it doesn't rotate. That's why we see the same face. The heaviest part of the moon essentially is facing us.
Yeah,
and that's
Well, and I thought it was really interesting too. If you've ever looked at the dark side of the moon, which is dark to us, obviously, but it's just riddled with pockmarks.
Oh, it's a shield, yeah.
Yeah, because we should be getting hit by meteors all the time, but the moon is like taking the hit for us quite a bit. Now, I'm confident that Jake already knows this.
Okay.
So I'm kind of saying this for the listeners, but feel free to jump in at any moment.
Sure.
But our moon is very unique versus any other moon in our entire solar system.
Oh, yeah.
And that is because the Earth to moon ratio is the largest in the entire solar system.
Yeah, it's massive.
To put things into perspective, our moon is about a quarter of the diameter of the Earth. So think of it like if you have a basketball and then like a tennis ball.
Right.
That isn't like that anywhere else. Like with Jupiter, they're like itty bitty moons.
There's like 62 of them. Like it's quite a bit.
Yeah, and so now with a little bit of cosmic coincidence, right? And this,
I want to let you get it all out because I know a lot of moon shit. We actually own 3 acres on the moon.
Yeah, we own 3 acres.
Yeah.
Best $50 ever.
Yeah.
So
I'm
anyway,
gonna get more.
Dude, could you imagine? Can we do insurance? Dude, if we get
if that fucking meteor hits our moon plot,
I stored my money up there.
My H3.
Yeah. Anyway, so now with a little bit of cosmic coincidence, the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun.
Yeah.
And 400 times closer to the Earth than the sun.
Yeah.
And so that is why we are the only planet in the entire solar system that is able to get an entire, complete, total solar eclipse.
Right.
And so I'll let you just. I know Jake is a giant space nerd, so I'm kind of teeing him off here.
So I've been in 2 totalities of solar eclipses, and that's where you get in the actual shadow of the moon. And honestly, this is my recommendation. If you ever get a chance to get into it, it is the wildest thing you can experience in nature. And like Adam was saying, this is unique to Earth. And actually, long ago, when Moon was a little bit closer, we didn't experience basically where you could see the corona of the sun. So, and later in time, there's solar eclipses where the moon is too far away to completely block out the sun. You know when you see those pictures of like the devil horns rising on the horizon? That's when the moon is a little farther away. And even in the totality, you don't get a complete blackout of the sun. So because of that 401 ratio, there's actually a lot of conspiracies online that people think the moon is manufactured.
Well, I was
to
going to
basically
say that
challenge humans' understanding of the cosmos.
That's the idea that because nowhere else in their solar system is the moon like our moon,
right?
That's where then also you have the people like we're in a simulation.
Well, essentially,
but yeah. So you drove like to witness the eclipse. You drove like 5 hours or something.
Yeah, Southern Illinois for the first one, and then Southern Indiana for the second one.
Yeah,
and it's totally worth it, 100% of the time.
Okay, so
I know this sounds like nerd shit, but it was 100% worth it.
It is interesting. I mean, obviously, I remember where I was. I remember when I was in 9/11 and when the total eclipse.
Well, it's one of those like when you're in the totality of a solar eclipse. I understand why people cut the kids' heads off in the past. It feels like the world is ending.
Well, I mean, birds stop chirping.
Yeah.
It's just very eerie.
Crickets come out.
Yeah.
And especially if you know what's going to happen and you can convince natives that you took it.
If you don't give me all your gold, I'm going to...
I'll give your son back if you give it all the gold.
Yeah. Okay, so now I wanted to also say this. NASA just recently ended a contest last month, right?
Okay.
March 31st. Did you hear about the Lunar Recycle Challenge?
No.
Anyone? So they were offering $3 million to anyone that can invent a way to process 96 bags of human waste left on the moon by Apollo astronauts.
Sounds like China's working on it with those pandas.
Just wipe your ass with it.
Yeah.
So obviously this is the human waste is not just shit. It's like pee and vomit and everything like that too. Okay. But did you just do a podcast faux pas there?
Sorry so much.
All right. So during the Apollo missions, astronauts would ditch waste, like poop and gear to make sure that they had room for like lunar rocks and to like their return home. Right. Now, I know that we've already talked about like NASA using urine for like cement and stuff like that, right? And how they want to, but now they want to use like the poop and different things like that, kind of like in The Martian.
Right.
In the movie The Martian, where Matt Damon ends up using like poop for like fertilizer and like human manure, right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to come up with ideas because of the Artemis program, they want to start sending people to the moon to essentially kind of like work it. Where obviously start mining it and start sending resources back.
Yeah.
But a big thing with that is they don't want to start importing like lunar turds. So they're trying to think of like how can we make this like 100%.
So someone won this contest?
We'll find out.
Okay.
We'll do a follow-up because
listeners, send your ideas.
Yeah, there we go. So I mean, honestly, like my suggestion would be to just move all the turds to wherever they think the impact is going to be. Yeah, that's my $3 million suggestion there.
Listen, we're creating a new turd world.
Oh, turd world problems. But
it's low hanging fruit.
Yeah. But so I don't know. So we'll find out. We'll find out who gets the $3 million from NASA for coming up with what to do with asteroids.
Start pencil whipping some ideas. We'll figure it out. I want to go right into something that like you've heard me.
I feel like you didn't laugh hard enough at asteroids.
I laughed hard enough at asteroids. Yeah. So you know Joel at the shop. He's a connoisseur of funny phrases, right?
He is.
So
He's not a connoisseur. He is a creator as well.
Well, actually, so like Amanda at the shop. Amanda, she's our liaisons because she's a lesbian with a wife, and so like when
I thought you misspoke, and now I get it. Okay.
Like when something new comes up, we're just like, Amanda, what does this mean? So she explains it to us. But there's a new phrase going around. I love this phrase. This phrase means strong feminine energy. I guess this is almost like an Urban Dictionary, but this phrase is called serving cunt. And basically, like if someone is exuding strong feminine energy, they are serving cunt.
Hell yeah.
And Joel and I have been having a ball with this all week. And actually Amanda has as well because like.
So what, like would the opposite be serving dong?
I don't know if there's an opposite essentially, but this mostly
Do you have a strong masculine energy?
Yeah.
You serving dick?
I guess it'd be like serving dick, but like it's really funny. It's a funny phrase to me, but
Hell
this
yeah.
is like to educate the listeners out there. If you hear someone say she's serving cunt, she's being a boss. She's in control.
A boss bitch?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
She's in, and I think this is a great term. But we were having fun with it to where it's like if she does it wrong, it's like, oh, the cunt has gone bad. It's like, it's very frugal. It's like, so
it's just a light. It's like she's only serving a vagina today, guys.
It appears they've served cunt and they're turning it into what do you turn it into soup? Just trying to stretch the legs of it.
Just a connoisseur.
So can I go into a quick rant? I don't want
hear it.
to. I don't want to make it a rant. This actually it's a bummer for me because like so Adam knows like one of my favorite bands has always been Brand New.
Okay.
So Brand New is a band that like when I was 18, they're I think a couple years older than me, so they were roughly 18, making 18-year-old music. Loved it when I was 18. Then they released another album, and this is one of the few bands that I thought kind of progressively grew as they got older.
Yeah, it's not Blink-182 talk. Well, Blink-182 talking about like fell in love with the girl at the rock show.
Dude, they definitely.
You're 37.
But the thing is, like, they definitely started that way. But then, like, I thought their albums, and I remember them catching a lot of flack of like, oh, they didn't sound like they used to. You shouldn't. You're getting older. Things change. What I'm fucking bummed about is they retired 7 years ago. They recently announced that they were going back out on tour, and I was stoked for it because Quinn's 13. I'm trying to get him into music. I bought Brand New tickets to Rosemont, Illinois. I think
They weren't used.
What's that?
That's who should tour together.
Yeah,
the used and Brand New.
So
come on,
so
we're having fun here,
guys. This is where the bummer comes in because it's like so. Brand New years ago, he had allegations where he was like texting young girls. I'm like, that fucking sucks. 7 years, like 7 years later, they come out, and I'm like, you know what? It says here this dude did a lot of work. He fucking got past it. And all of a sudden, new allegations come out.
Brand new allegations
come out. And here's the thing I didn't know is like these allegations, they come with pictures. And this guy is in his almost 30s, and he's hanging out with 15-year-olds on tour buses.
Come on.
And
weird.
I just fucking can't. I'm out. And what sucks about it is now I used to think their lyrics were very smart, poetic, kind of poignant. Now all their lyrics to me sound like he's struggling with not fucking a kid. And to me, like what the bummer is like I just sold my tickets because I had the tickets. I was stoked to get them.
Given away to Patreon members.
Like I'll fucking do it. But it was a bummer because to me it's like I can't take my 13-year-old son and validate this type of behavior. Because the thing is,
to be fair, he's trying to fuck 15-year-olds.
Well, here's the thing: is like
your son.
Right. It makes sense to him. The thing is,
he's like, I get these lyrics.
For Brand New, I give them a pass on their first album because their first album, they were 16 when they're writing it. Takes you your whole life to write your first album, 6 months to write the second. But now, this is the thing, and people are like, well, you can't separate the art from the artist. No, honestly, I can't. Because now all I hear is the motivation. This is like that joke where I used to say, like, the older I get, the more with Michael Jackson, I realized it wasn't about Billie Jean, more about Billy's jeans. Like, this is like Aerosmith. Yeah. Once you know the story about Julie Holcomb, about how he fucking adopted a 15-year-old, got her stoned on drugs, and had a 7-month abortion of him, You Drive Me Crazy hits a little different.
I mean, you kind of hit that a little quickly, but just for
Julie Holcomb, look him up.
So for listeners, what Steven Tyler did is he adopted. I thought she was 14. Adopted a 14-year-old girl, And that because then that way he could be her legal guardian because this is his girlfriend.
Yeah.
But adopted her when she was 14 legally so that he could take her on tour in Europe. And then when she was finally like pregnant and addicted to drugs, he got her an abortion and they gave her back to her parents.
Ceded the adoption back to her
I'm pretty sure
parents.
he's like in his late 20s.
Yeah. So these happen all, and this is the thing is like as a guy that used to be 30, 15-year-olds, that is not something you seek and hang out. There was a story where he wanted to like 15-year-old, he wanted to get him to a lake house, and he's like, the girl's like, I don't have a swimming suit. It's like, we'll buy you swimming suits. I'm sorry, that's fucking wrong. It's weird. I'm not trying to take a stand here, but there's a point when you have to like understand that
you can take a stand. I think it's okay to take.
It's a bummer to me because it's a band that I realized I had to let go and just kind of like it fucking sucked because I really do enjoy that band. I enjoy their songs. I enjoy their music still, but I gotta let it go because fuck them. And there's all these people out there. If you go on TikTok and they're all defending, like, well, everyone on Warped Tour, they're listing off all these other bands, like everyone did this, and I collectively think, fuck all of them.
Yeah,
dude, fuck all of them. Who was the fucking dude in Labyrinth?
Oh, David Bowie.
Fuck David Bowie.
Yeah,
fucking a 13-year-old in a hot tub. Fuck Aerosmith. Fucking a 14-year-old Julie Holcomb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
these are all very
like,
tangible, very real, backed up. Claims,
the biggest moment where I felt like an adult is when I realized I couldn't like fucking co-sign on this shit anymore. So like, I'm sorry if anyone likes Brand New too, and I just ruined it for him. But fuck Jesse Lacey, man. If you're a 30-year-old dude and you want to hang out with a 15-year-old guy, you got a fucking brain tumor. I don't know what to tell you. So. End of rant. Yeah. Like, yeah, I guess I got to put my R. Kelly and my P. Diddy away. Pat's hitting me from the back row here.
I'm turning in I'm breaking all my Harvey Weinstein DVDs.
This is what I'm telling you. Only instrumental music from here on out. Fucking explosions in the sky, Russian circles, pelican, cloud kicker.
I just watched Explosions in the Sky.
How was that? Was that good?
Okay, I just watched Explosions in the Sky like a week and a half ago or something like that.
I usually see them in July.
And they... Oh. Anyway, I would like independence from that fucking joke. Anyway, so
thank you for playing
that rant. Yeah, I just it was like, well, I'm going
yeah, he's getting angrier.
Catfish.
Yeah.
So anyway, now I just watched Explosion in the Sky, and I'll be honest with you, they were so much fucking cooler in person than I ever imagined.
Good.
It was so cool, and it was weird because like there was like 5 dudes, and like I think the only people that played the same instrument was like the bassist, one bassist, and the drummer. Everyone else, like some guy like picked up the drums for a bit and played drums instead of the guitar, and they're switching back and forth between like the cowbell and like it's just like
you got to get more of that.
Yeah. Hey. Oh. But anyway, so I know it was very, 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 very nice.
So I'm sorry about the rant, everyone.
It's okay.
It was a legitimate bummer to me.
I get it.
I had to let a childhood band go. Fuck them. So.
Yeah. Well,
catfish.
So, would you like to end on a catfish, Jake?
No.
All right. So, number 1, Brand New decides that. No,
all right.
Okay. All right.
Number 1.
Obviously, same rules apply, guys. Yeah. Listeners, feel free to chime in. Audience, I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Number 1, startup offer. I'm so thrown off with your rant. Sorry. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. Startup offers AI boyfriend with just the right amount of red flags for $9.99 a month. Number 2, woman sues gym for emotional damage after mirrors look different than her house. Number 3, financial dominatrix makes up to $10,000 a month from clients that mine crypto for her.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Nope.
Are these news stories?
No.
Okay, I might have to like step aside my guess because I might know the answer to this.
Okay.
One. So what the audience feel?
I'll read them again.
Okay.
So number 1, startup offers AI boyfriend with just the right amount of red flags for $9.99 a month. Number 2, woman sues gym for emotional damage after mirrors look different than her house. Number 3, financial dominatrix makes up to $10,000 a month from clients that mine crypto for her.
Got a 3, got a 3,
1.
got a 1.
Okay,
well, then I'll make my guess. I think I heard a story about this as number 2 from a while ago. So mine was the mirrors.
Okay.
And if that's the answer, then
Can we please talk about how like like, I don't know what it is, what they do with the mirrors, but the mirrors at the gym and the lighting is just like, just chef's kiss.
No, they-
like, hell yeah. And then you get home, you're like, what the
Hell
fuck
no.
what the fuck is this piece of shit? Yeah. Okay, so the answer is a dominatrix named Fedora estimates she earns between $7,000 and $10,000 each month in cryptocurrency. Now,
I hate the internet.
I should say this is from 2017.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, oh fuck, do you remember?
No.
So you don't remember yesterday?
I remember something about mirrors where someone had sued because they bought something in the. I know department store mirrors, they do buy a more slender mirror. So when you try it on in the store,
you know what's really funny is look up online people selling mirrors. Like how they take the photos. It's very funny. Like here's a little side tangent, unrelated.
like you could be like, it doesn't look like it did in the picture.
No. It's like people how they take a mirror photo. It's like sometimes just like an arm stretched out, or like it's just weird random shit. Like look up, fucking go to Facebook Marketplace and look up mirror.
Okay,
And see all the different shit. Anyway, so all right, I'll start over. A dominatrix named Fedora estimates she earns between $7,000 and $10,000 each month in cryptocurrency. Last year, she made over $1 million in cryptocurrency alone. Fedora is a financial dominatrix. Her clients derive sexual pleasure from giving her money. Those gifts can range from just a few dollars to six figures, and now some of the gifts are coming in the form of cryptocurrency. Clients are typically powerful men who enjoy briefly releasing control to a woman, sometimes in the form of large sums of cash, other times by giving Fedora complete control over one of their bank accounts.
Some people's lives are so good they have to just
Plummet.
like I think about that, like, dude. So I often wonder, like, are people that are in defeat good at making money? Because like they seem to have extra to buy pictures of it.
I mean,
like I'm into stuff. I don't have any money for it. I can't afford my kinks.
yeah, I don't know, man. Like
That's interesting. To where it's just like they just give her cryptocurrency.
Like,
that was a bad decision. Oh my god! Oh, dude, that was terrible.
some guys like getting kicked in the nuts. I don't know. It like
yeah, I guess
it's like whatever, dude.
That's like Men in Black alien shit.
like watch one guy, one jar.
That's how that's like the guy from
and tell me people aren't into different things than you.
Dude, the kid from Vivarium gets off on that kind of shit. Just like, that does that for me.
So anyway, there you go. Good job.
I'm out of stuff again. Apologize about the rant, but it's mostly Pat's fault for giving me whiskey.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, buddy. So, anyways,
he's at a double.
yeah. So I'm out of stuff. You out?
Yep, I'm out.
So hey, thank you so much for listening. And listen, the number one advice on YouTube to grow your podcast is right in the beginning. Tell people to share with their family and friends. So at the very end, I'd like to tell you, hey, share this episode with your family and friends and be like, hey, you know what? I enjoyed this. Maybe you'll enjoy it too. That'd be a great way for us to grow. I should probably edit this in the front, but
yeah, it'd be nice. If we could get two people to tell two people, we could literally double.
we got 8 people.
We'd have 8. We'd have four roses. All right. So anyway,
seriously,
thank you very much for listening. This has been episode 146. My name is Adam Riley.
My name's Jake Busty. Thank you so much.
Later,
Have a great
boners.
night.